Well, today we're going to take a look at Firebase. I was going to have everybody use the default SQL server that you could use locally until I heard from a couple individuals that they didn't have that on their version. So I switched over to this, and also then we'll help you to talk about a test put out there at the end of class. Okay. Um, Unfortunately, I created an example program. I left it at home. So I left my homework at home. Actually, I had it finished and everything, and I created this PowerPoint off of it, and I will upload this PowerPoint. Um, but I might have created a brand new one, which I was going to do anyway. But I was going to show you basically where we're headed. We're going to create an application that's going to store information out there in the cloud in the database. Now, specifically, the one we're taking a look at is Firebase. There's other ones, and you need a Google account. So if you don't got a Google account, create one. And after you get one created, then go to firebase.google.com. And once you get signed in and everything, you'll get to a screen that looks something like this. And then you go to console. And there's the one I created last night. Okay, so I click Add Project. And my example was stupid last night anyway. Must have been tired. So I was doing an example of combined book information with movie information, which made no sense. I'm going to do it off this bottle of pop here that I got on my desk. Since I was drawing blank right before class, I was trying to figure out what to do. Beverages. Let's make spell beverages. Okay, drinks. That probably better. Okay, and then I'll click continue. Now for our Google Analytics, we don't need that since we're doing something just a testing one. I click create project. Okay, and it'll tell you project is ready, so you click continue. Now I'm going to have you do the same type of thing. I want you to create an application that updates a database on the Firebase with a insert, and select, an update, and delete feature. So if you follow this, you shouldn't have much trouble. I want to click real-time database over here. Then there's a create database button here. I'll start it in test mode. Basically, test mode, everybody has your URL, could manipulate your data, but that's fine. And enable. Okay, so it comes up to here. Now, in the PowerPoint, I don't really put this in detail. I just say steps. I said design form first, but it doesn't matter the order. Create database over in Firebase. So that's what we just did there. Everything else, as I go through here, I've outlined in quite a bit of detail, so I don't think you'll have much trouble. Famous last words. I may have to refer to that to myself, so, so I don't remember everything exactly. Okay, so we just created our database. When we run a program, it'll create the table and then the records underneath it. We'll see that. Okay, I want to go to project, manage NuGet packages. Assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly. We want to click browse. And here I'll type, I think it's Fire Sharp. Yeah, Fire Sharp. So then you click this Fire Sharp here. There'll be an install option over here on the right-hand side. Part of what I'm showing you is a little bit outdated, but that's okay. You'll at least get an example of it. They keep changing things, so I have trouble keeping up with the newest and latest. Once this comes up, it just asks you to want to make changes. Just click OK, and then it'll come up and just say I accept these licensing. I never have read these. Might be saying I'm willing my house over to Microsoft. I don't know. Down there at the bottom, the output's going through and setting everything up for me. If you have any errors, you'll see it appear down there. Okay, this said successfully installed Firesharp there. Now I want to click the close the window here. Now we want to design our form, and we're going to design our form based upon some items on this. I was trying to think of some unique key. Okay, so let me toolbox. Maybe I'll use the example I did last night, but instead of putting movies in, I'll just stick with the books. That's a lot easier example. I don't think it's hard. Okay. So I'm going to keep track of ISBN, author, title, publisher year. I don't think I had year last night when I was playing with this. And text boxes. And 4 buttons. Okay, click down here and drag and draw a rectangle around all those. Change the font of all of them to 15. So you see it. Okay. Goes out here. Left align these. And this one. What is it? ISBN. No memory. Title. Author. And I'll say number of pages. I think it was like date, publisher date, something. Oops. Okay, make these equal distance apart. Okay. This one. Okay, highlight those, make them all equal width. And this particular one, I want to give it a name. TB or IBSN. TB title. TB author. TB pages. I'll call this one button. This will be my select. I need to insert. I got something to select, so I need to do the insert first. Okay, then this will be my select. Insert or update. Sorry. This one will be my delete. Okay, what was this one? This is my insert, so I'm going to have it say insert. This one is my select, so I'll have it say select. This one is my update, so I'll have it say update. Update. This is my, what is this? Delete, I'm assuming. Yeah, delete, so I would say delete. Okay. Let's see. I set up my library, set up my database so far. Okay, so I'm gonna right click and say view code. Now I got some imports that I need to bring in. You probably need to bring more in than what if you're going to do a full application. Firesharp dot, let's see, config, I think is what I need. Using Firesharp dot interfaces I need. And response. Exceptions is probably one you want to bring in if you want to do any kind of anything more sophisticated than what I'm showing. But that'll bring in the necessary code for us to use. Now we're going to down here, and let me think for a minute. Okay, it should be in this outer one here. I want to define my Firebase configuration here. So this is how it knows what database to access on Firebase's site. Let's see, Firebase config. Oops, world. And called config equals new Firebase config. Yeah, config. Then I do a beginning curly brace, closing curly brace, and authorize something. There it is. Authorize secret equals something, comma, and then base path is equal to something. Okay, so we're going to get and then I need a semicolon here to finish that off. We're going to get these two items from our Firebase. Excuse me. Grab a drink. Now you see this right up here. There's a little, I don't know what this is beside it. I call it paperclip. I don't think it's a paperclip. But if I click that, it highlights that. And I think I got this wrong in the PowerPoint for Visual Basic. I did a similar one for Visual Basic. I think I said do a Control V, which is not right. It's Control C, but you can right click on it and choose copy. And I'll come over here and Control V, or you could right click and do a paste. Now our authorization secret, authentication secret, sorry. If I come over here to this little cog here, go to project settings, service accounts, there it is, database secrets, and scroll down. Then if you put your mouse over here, you see how it has the show. If you click the show, that'll show it. And then you can click this copy secret, these two little rectangles here, to copy to clipboard. And then I'm going to paste it in here. So I do Control V as in Victor, and I'll paste that in. Okay, so that's what part of the making a connection with the Firebase involves. So it tells where the URL is and the auth secret. Okay. So now, let me think. We got that. So I need to create a client. The client is what's going to allow us to do our interfaces. Firebase client. And I'll call it client. Now I'll go back to my form here, and I want to make the connection right when the form loads. So I'm going to right click on this and choose View Code. I lied to you. We'll come over here to Lightning Bolt and double click on Load. Okay, so this is where our load occurs at. Now we declared client up here. We have to create a new instance of it. So I'm going to say client is equal to new Fireshark dot, there it is, Firebase client. I love how the fact that pops up. I could never remember that and fly to the moon. I think, okay, is it uppercase B? And I forget the client and so forth. Just makes it so much easier. Now here we have what the configuration is. We declared the configuration here, telling where it's located at. So we have to pass that in here. Okay. Now, if it returns something that's not null, that means it connected. So if client is not equal to null, then message box dot show connected to database. If you got a database application, if it doesn't even connect to the database, then that's not good. Other way you could do that is check to see if it's equal to null, and then indicate that the connection failed to the database. Please try to restart the computer, or you put the appropriate instructions in there. Now let's run that and just make sure that that part works. Connected database. Okay. Now we're going to be potentially receiving all this information or sending this information. Though the retrieving or receiving it can be a little bit different, but definitely the sending takes advantage of this. What we want to do is we want to create a separate class where we can send this information to the database. So I'll go to my Solution Explorer. If you don't see your Solution Explorer, then you do your view, and this is the very top one right there. We got a Solution Explorer here. I'm going to right click on the project, and I'm going to choose Add and Class. Now, when this pops up, you can take that as default, but change the name to something that's meaningful to what you're working with. This is where, if you look in the PowerPoint, I called it movie or movies, when actually it's supposed to be books. Or book or books. Say book. .cs, and click Add. Now this comes up here, and there's a really a fast way to do this. But I was drawing a blank last night. I'm still drawing a blank, so I'm going to type it out. Public string ISBN and get set. Let's see, do I need a comma there? I don't think I do. No memory. Title, author, pages. Title. Title. Is that what it is? So right here. So PROP and tap twice. That's weird. Oh well, I just do the gets and sets here. It could be after I put it in. If I do it right, it would create them. But public string author, I think was one of them. Get set. And last one, public int pages. Get set. Let me think. Do I need to import anything? I don't need to import anything here. Got my class created. Okay, so that's all we need there. Now, back to my insert. And I forget this over and over. In order to use this, you have to put async here. Okay. And now, let's see. This is called B for book equals new book. And ISBN is equal to TB underscore ISBN dot text, comma, we got author, title, author, pages, title, author. If you're wondering if order matters, it shouldn't. I just, for whatever reason, wanted it in the same order. And pages. There it is. Yeah, I must need a semicolon here. Okay, now the pages is a string, so I forgot something. Integer dot parse int. I'm not confusing that with another language. Probably am. Yep. Where I'm really parse int. What is that? Yeah. I think I was using that in JavaScript. I don't know. They run together. Like I say, eventually I'll create posters on the wall so I could don't get these confused between languages. Okay, so we're creating a new instance book here, and we're assigning these values. So pulling those in from the form, and then we're going to be sending these over to the database. So we're going to define a set response, and this is called response equals, and I'm doing await client dot set. Now I did set in Visual Basic, and I didn't put the async and so forth, and it's fine, but it's best to handle it in this manner. And books slash plus TB. My key is what this is going to be. I probably don't want key off of author because there's that's not a unique key. Pages wouldn't be good. Title might be good, except for there's not unique titles. ISBN is a unique key into a book. So I want to concatenate that on. And then, now that's going to be what it's going to be stored under. And here is where I do a comma and pass in my, let me make that bigger so you can see it. And pass in all my information here. Okay, so this part seems weird to me. But I'm going to declare a book, and I'll call it result equals response dot result as, and I'll put book in here. Put these. No, where's quick? Okay, good. It's kind of like you're passing a book information into an instance with all the appropriate values and so forth, and it's returning a book. So I mean, returning that's your return result. It does just seem strange. And record inserted. Result dot. You notice when I do that, I have access to all those items because it's returning that instance. So ISBN. No red squigglies. That's a good sign. Let's run this. And over here to my database. Okay, got that. ISBN, let's say 1, title, Shining, Stephen King, pages 300. Forgot something. Bad response, invalid path. Invalid token in path. Can I not do numbers? Oh, TBSI. Okay. I knew it was going too well. You can't pass in an object. Text. That'll be better. Hopefully. I'd say I don't have other errors. I would work off of a script, but then it wouldn't be fun for me to create these. Did I not run it? Oh, there it is. I think worst computer class I ever took. The instructor sat there and read off every PowerPoint. And not saying I don't do that on some of these classes. But the programming ones, what makes them fun for me is I don't have any script in front of me. Okay. Shining. King, page is 300, click insert. Notice it returned the ISBN number to me. Of course, that's not a valid ISBN number. If I expand this, then you see that there. If I do another one, let's see. See, I'm a literary genius. I can't say the word. Okay, I think of another Stephen King then. Carrie. And see, it creates my second one. So that one that you see us tacked on, right here is our key value. One I did for Visual Basic, I attached on first name and last name and concatenated them together. But that should be whatever your key value is. And other than that, then it just passes in all this information. Now, it might be argued whether you need ISBN number in both places. Definitely doesn't hurt, especially since this self-documents if you look in the database. But that's how to do an insert. Now, let's take a look at our select. And you're going to find a lot of these are very similar. Update would probably be easier. Yeah, let's just take a look at update first. There's a reason why update is easier. It's pretty much the exact same code as the insert. Okay. Paste that in. This has to be async. Updated, and I think this is update in sync. Let me see. Update async. Yeah. Let me think if there's anything else. Obviously, I can't pass in this. Yeah. No, I'm gonna need to. I think. So what does it look like? Books. B. Oh. Yeah, this is weird. I ran across this last night. I had set response when I copied it over. It had to be a Firebase response. Don't understand the difference between those. Okay. I think that was the only changes. We'll see. And I'm doing absolutely no error checking here, whether things really succeed or not. So keep that in mind. In other words, you want to do a lot more if you're going to create a production type application. Okay. Change one here, and title of it is known. Reality, I do a select first, and then do an update. Shining. It's written by David Hayes. And click update. And you see it updated our record. Okay. Now, delete's pretty simple. I think it's one line, maybe 2 lines. Let's check my result. Select is a little bit more coding to it. So let's take a look at select next. Async. And I think the set response is only is for only the insert. The Firebase response, I believe, equals await client dot. Now it's not hard to figure out which one. We did the set. Did the set for the insert. We did the update for the update. If you didn't know anything else about it, as you're sitting there reading through them, well, delete, we're probably going to do the delete on. And to get the valid record, I don't know why I didn't put a select here, probably because I didn't want it to be tied to SQL at all. But get is one we want to do. We want to get it. And let's think of the shiny movie. Books. That's what we're doing. Slash. And what was it? TB ISBN. Text. Again, have to pass in our key value. I probably would have designed this differently myself. I probably would have designed the get to actually dump it into an instance, of the book, where I pass in. So I don't know why they don't do it that way. I mean, if you're inserting a record or updating a record, you pass it in. The instance, the object, and its signs and values. But retrieving, you don't. You do it differently. So I'm going to declare a book, call it result, and say response dot. Result as. Okay, I was drawing a blank on what I put there. Book. And it could be, now that I think about it, now that I'm saying that, it could be because the insert, you always got to insert one record, I think. I've never tried anything beyond that. Update, you're going to update one record. Although if you leave off certain key items, it'll update many of them. I've done that before, sometimes by mistake. But on your pulling the data, you could pull maybe 100 records. So maybe that's the difference. Okay, so then TB ISBN should already be preloaded. Author text equals to result dot author TB underscore author dot author title dot text equals to result dot title. And let's see, TB underscore pages dot text is equal to result dot pages. This will return an integer. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. ToString or string dot value of. Probably ToString. Yeah, ToString. I think that's everything. No red squigglies. Let's see if that works. Okay, so do a select. Pulls that information up. Pull one, and then pulls that information. And see, this is where you can immediately change it. You click update, then it'll update your record. Okay, so then we'll go to the delete. Again, I want a Firebase response. I'll call it response. I forgot to do my async. I need an await. And our client dot, and again, it's not hard when you start seeing a pattern. You delete async. And we need to pass in the table. That's not quite the terminology they use in Firebase. Um, books / plus TB ISBN .text. And I'm forgetting something. Firebase response. Oh, equals. No? Yeah, that was it. Okay. So message box.show record. Okay, so if I wanted to add a new one, My Life by David Hayes, 2 pages. I don't have a very exciting life. Insert. Okay, so it puts 3 down there. So now, if I didn't have any of that information in there, let's say I came to my application, I wanted to delete this ISBN number. I click delete, and you see that records deletes. Now, if I press delete again, see how it comes up and tells me record deleted, but didn't actually delete it. This is where you'd want to really beef it up. Because you think, okay, I deleted the record, everything's fine, everything's good in the world, and it's not. And I did some sloppy programming. I created a Firebase application for the Union Arrest Commission, and I didn't want to put too much coding in there, so I brought it in and I loaded it into a list box, and I have them click the list box and have it specifically select the key value there. So I know there's no way that they can type it in wrong. I didn't want to be called on it. And I didn't want to put a whole bunch of coding in there to go look it up and then tell them, hey, couldn't find the record, and then they're calling me saying, hey, it's telling me I can't find a record, but I know the record's out there, so I have to look it up. Say, well, you're hearing this wrong. Sometimes when you design an application, you have to think about how can I design this so I'll never be called. And it's not the slickest way that I did it, but it's a way that I can minimize the coding and minimize the calls that I was going to get. Now, one of these blows up because there's no error checking on it. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Probably the select. Let's do a select. Yeah. So like I said, there's not much error checking on this. You can definitely put that in there. That's weird. Not sure why that was. Any questions on the basic functions there? Now, I still want you to read the chapter, but I won't have any assignment out of the chapter in the book. We'll get back to the book, but I want to do a couple of fun things before the end of the semester. This is one of my. I'm trying to introduce more and more accessing databases, and this is my first. Well, I've been doing it for about a year now, but I've been trying to do more these explorations into online databases. Because I think that's where a lot of it's going to be headed. I think it'll become more and more popular and so forth. Because if you have it stored out in a database, assuming the security is there, then you don't have to have your own database administrator allocating this amount of partitions and this disk space and so forth. Somebody's handling it for you. And from a programming standpoint, you just write the program and update the cloud database. This is assuming you have access to the cloud, the internet, and everybody can view it. Now, one thing I think I have time. I was doing this a little bit faster because I was hoping. I never have tried this in ASP.NET. So we're going to try it. And I just want to see if it'll do a connection. That's all I'm going to program in. Okay, there it is. By the way, it would make sense that ASP.NET, which would be a web application, would talk to a web database. Come on, back. There it is. Okay, fire sharp. Click that, click install. Okay, and I accept. Wasn't paying attention, but I guess it finished. It gave me an error, I suppose, if it hadn't. Okay, design here. View code. And put my usings here. Using sharp interface. Interfaces. Using sharp responses. Response. Using sharp. What's the other one? Config. I want. I gotta put my. I gotta create my authorization. The partial class here. So my config equals new Firebase config. Okay, semicolon there. And hot secret equals something, comma, base path equals. Oops. And come over here and Control C and base path to Control V. And authorize secret, come over here, project settings, service counts, database secrets. Click the show, click the copy, paste that in. And then I declare my client. Yeah, I need to declare my client. What client equals new No, not new there. There we go. And now, page load. That's probably the same as form 1 load. Client equals new fire sharp dot. This is a Firebase client. And we're passing in the configuration file. Once you see a pattern on these, up here, here's where we're declaring it, and we got an I here. And down here, you see that it's everything except for the I. You kind of see the connection on those. Now, if client is equal to not or equal to null, this each box.show failed, else message box.show succeeded. Can't spell it. Success. What am I forgetting? Message box does not exist in the current context. Ah, it doesn't. Okay. Well, that kind of stinks. Label. Can't see if that's worked. Yep, label 1. Okay, so it's there. I'm drawing a real blank on that. Source. Okay, now I can see it. So label 1. Oops. Label 1 text set text. Label 1 text. Set text is job, I guess. Failed. Else label 1 text equals success. Guess that's not very smart to try to do a message box. Okay, so let's run this. And there it is, success. Okay, so I guess you can. Now I'm going to have you create a database application. Your choice. Don't choose ISBN. Choose something else. And create an application that does the insert, does the select, does the update, and does the delete. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to put a test out there, and the test is for our accreditation purposes. I'll add this from another class. And there's 3 questions on it. You'll get 180 minutes, so you have plenty of time. And I want you to create an application that allows you to input 2 numbers, your starting number and the ending number. And then with a for loop, you're going to add up all the numbers between them, including them. For example, if they enter in 1 and 3, you would add 1 plus 2 plus 3. And do the same thing with a while. And then there'll be an if-else question, and you're to write the code and then get the answer. And I'll tell you which numbers to add together. I'll say like add numbers from 1 to 500 or something like that. It's not a real challenging one, but part of our program outcomes is we assess people what they learn coming out of a beginning programming class. And if you never master what in the world an async is and await, not a huge deal. Eventually you'll pick it up when you start working with it. But coming out of a basic programming class, you should know how to do a for loop, while loop, and if else. Coming out of any basic programming class, you should know those. And that's why those are on there. Now, the Higher Learning Commission didn't tell me to do that. They allow us to assess whatever we want. So I sat down and I thought, what do I want a basic a student to know coming out of a basic programming class? And those are the 3 I came up with. Anyway, I'll put a test out there for that. And then the other one is of course, the database application. Questions on that? Okay. Okay. Oh, because you can't access them over there? Oh, okay. Um, you should be able to create a application. Well, maybe some students they don't have it, but you like the SQL Server should be on here, like a local version of it. Does that make sense? And you're definitely welcome to use that. Um, I started showing that, I think, in Visual Basic, and then I had 2 students contact me, said they didn't have that on their version. So if you don't have that, let me know. And if that doesn't work, assuming you have the access, you can do a database via that. And just to really emphasize this, you're determining your code and the answer. So don't forget that. I don't know how many people don't give me the answer. Like I'll ask them to add all the numbers between 50 and 170, and they'll give me the code, but they won't give me the actual answer. And so you have to give me both. Any other questions? Now, one thing I've never done, I've done it in Unity, which uses C#, but I've never done it actually just in the C#. Is I'd like to, before the end of the semester, see if we can do some kind of voice recognition in here. I don't know if that exists, but and I'm not even sure if it has much benefit. It just sounds, I like it. So I'll probably incorporate that in one of these classes just for fun. Oh, is it pretty easy? I know the Unity was really easy with the C#. Yeah, yeah, that's the way that this was. But it's kind of neat because then you could with voice commands cause your game object to move this way or that way. We'll go ahead and stop there. Have a good afternoon, and I'll see you next class.